I'm going to speak on the role of a regulator in achieving policy goals for the ET Telecom. Everyone would agree with me that the telecom sector is one of the fastest evolving sectors in the world. With the advent of new technologies and technological enhancement, things keep on getting better. It may be may it be consumer experience or development of new services and use of ICT in various domains. Our way of communication has changed a lot from the past. If we look back to the Indian telecom journey so far, the invention of voice transmission was over wire, and now wireless penetration is far more than wireline. India, as you know, is at the cusp of a digital revolution powered by increasing broadband and internet penetration, exponential data uptake, government's focus on digitization, and increasing trend of technology adoption across industries. This revolution is likely to generate new growth avenues, boost industrial productivity, and has the potential to transform the socio-economic fabric of the country. Our Prime Minister's program of Digital India is accelerating all these developments in the digital space. Now, the recent policy of the National Digital Communication Policy 2018, with has set out the goals. The government of India released this policy in 2018, having aims to facilitate India's effective participation in the global digital economy, with an objective to ensure digital sovereignty, encompassing data privacy, choice, and security of its citizens. The policy is to prepare the country and citizens for the future. The National Digital Communication Policy, or the NDCP, aims to accomplish ambitious strategic objectives by 2022, such as provisioning of the broadband for all, creation of 4 million additional jobs in the digital communication sector, enhancing the contribution of digital communication sector to 8% of India's GDP from 6% in 2017, and propelling India to the top 50 nations in the ICT Development Index of ITU from 134 in 2017. Year 2020 has been very challenging for the mankind, and we still are undergoing through that challenge. During this pandemic, telecom sector has emerged as a savior. As during the nationwide lockdown, several organizations shifted to work from home, conducted virtual meetings and video calls, etc. The demand for seamless connectivity for work and leisure has increased by many folds to mitigate the pandemic impact and has necessitated the continuity of the telecom network. The pandemic era has begun to see the change in the way we live, work, and interact. The future life will many observe less paid physical interactions, but there will be free flow of information, interactions through digital means, and provision of goods and services also through digital means. Telecom networks and internet connectivity will feature extensively in key economic activities and will become crucial for seamless social and business interactions. I've always maintained that after this pandemic, the telecommunication networks and the ICT will become a horizontal sector rather than a vertical. Thus, there is a need to develop an ecosystem and adopt technologies to face such challenges in future and remain unaffected to the maximum possible extent. Further, there is a need to discuss various issues, challenges, and strategies that can be formulated and adopted to make telecom services aligned with the upcoming new normal. Now, you have asked for what will be the regulator's role in enabling this, creating this enabling environment. So I'll now deal with that particular issue. Till now in India, most of the demand for data is fulfilled by wireless telecommunication networks, which are not quite suitable for meeting the requirement of the emerging use cases. To fulfill this emerging demand, we should have robust fixed line network to provide high-speed broadband services to home, office, and businesses. In order to promote wired broadband in the country, The Digital Communications Commission has recently, in June 2020, recommended to scrap the 8% license fee on fixed line broadband services and instead charge a token rupees 1 fee. However, there are several other roadblocks in the way of wired broadband services, biggest being right of way issues. The regulator's job is to create an enabling environment by removing these roadblocks and facilitating the growth of telecom networks across the country. In comparison to the rest of the world, India has a negligible presence of only 0.1 million public Wi-Fi hotspots. The global average is one hotspot for every 150 persons. To achieve the global average, we need to put 10 million Wi-Fi hotspots in the country. To address this wide gap, TRAI has recommended on March 9, 2017, about 3.5 years back, to proliferate the broadband through public Wi-Fi networks, suggesting an open architecture-based interoperable public Wi-Fi networks interface, popularly called WANI. Similarly, we need to adopt new technologies. The mobile industry has demonstrated its ability to connect and transform society through its 2G, 3G, and 4G networks over the last 25 years. 5G will build on these successes by delivering a platform that enhances existing services and enables new business models and use cases. New capabilities of mobile communication networks enabled by 5G technology will allow higher quality video services with mobility at high speed, business automation delivered through billions of connected devices, delivery of critical services such as telesurgery and autonomous cars assured by low latency and ultra reliable networks, and improved productivity assisted by high quality real-time data analytics. Unlike existing mobile communication networks, 5G networks will allow tailoring of requirements for each of these different use cases within the same network using the features of network slicing. 5G network uses the service-based architecture and permits layered approach to the network elements. Open RAN model is picking up for the deployment of 5G technologies, which will be cost-effective and tailored to the specific needs of the country. The software-defined network is easily configurable, controllable, and scalable. Virtualization of network functions on software platforms based on general-purpose processors enables the provision of cloud-based services in the telecom domain. 5G will open up new revenue opportunities for telecom service providers. 5G is predicated to create a cumulative economic impact of $1 trillion in India by 2035. Ericsson has estimated that 5G enabled digitization revenue potential in India will be ever $27 billion by 2026. This is not far away. For enabling 5G in India, several steps already have been taken by the governments and the regulator. So one is the first step, of course, is the availability of a spectrum, because if you don't have a spectrum, you cannot roll out services. So a spectrum in globally harmonized bands need to be made available at the earliest. TRAI has already given its recommendations in 2018 for auction of a spectrum, including the spectrum in mid bands. Then the next requirement is fiberization increase. It is like a prerequisite for success of 5G. TRAI has given its recommendations in March this year to enhance the scope of infrastructure providers to promote optical fiber penetration and sharing of active infrastructure. The other area is the backhaul connectivity. So opening up of E-band and V-band for meeting immediate backhaul requirement. While fiberization is the best solution, the cost of laying and maintaining it is high, and it may not be feasible to lay fiber everywhere immediately. So backhaul capacity needs to be augmented using E-band and V-band radio links for providing rapid and economical deployment of backhaul in dense urban routes for proliferation of wireless services quickly. TRAI has given its recommendations in 2014, quite some time back, on allocation of a spectrum in E-band and V-band. Similarly, the other area, as I spoke about, is the easing of right-of-way permissions. So considering the increasing need for fiberization and a small cell deployment for densification of networks, it is critical that the ROW permissions across access to street infrastructure and other approvals be made simpler, time-bound, and non-discriminatory. Further, these facilities be made available at reasonable charges. ROW, that is right of way, should not be seen as a revenue generation resource, but as something which will proliferate the ubiquitous connectivity everywhere. The last is the promoting infrastructure sharing. So sharing of the infrastructure and resources plays a vital role in bringing down prices and improving affordability of services. While on the one hand, it helps in a speedy rollout of services and applications, on the other, it maximizes return on investments and thereby attracts more investment and creates new jobs. The government has launched a program for building end-to-end 5G testbed to advance innovation and research in 5G. In July 2019, Department of Telecom has issued guidelines for 5G trials across all available spectrum bands, indicating to allocate up to 400 megahertz of radio waves for experimental and trial purposes. One of the areas which is very important is manufacturing. In view of the Honorable Prime Minister's sort of clarion call for Atmanirbhar Bharat, and also the earlier Digital India program which actually talks about electronics manufacturing domestically. So we should be self-dependent on the manufacturing front also for the network elements used in the telecom network. TRAI has given its recommendations in the year 2018 on promoting local telecom equipments manufacturing with aim to achieve the objective of net zero import of telecommunication equipments by 2022. There are a lot of opportunities for telcos. It is not only the opportunity that is currently available to the telecom sector, it is rather a profound responsibility of the sector to augment the capacities and extend the outreach to meet out the current and future demand. With the introduction of new technologies such as 5G, there will be numerous new use cases to be served by telecom service providers. The ICT demand will be there for almost every economic vertical. The industrial automation and IoT will be high in demand. The telecom service providers should gear up their networks in such a way to meet the expectations of these new verticals and in turn reap the benefits. So some of the actions which I spoke about and which should be taken up immediately are, I'm again summarizing it. So one is we should incentivize the massive growth of fixed line broadband. We should deploy the fiber to home and in-building solutions extensively so as to improve the connectivity inside the buildings too. We should modify the building bylaws to mandate telecom infrastructure. We should have simplified right-of-way permission process by the state governments and implementation of single window clearances. We should utilize cable TV infrastructure for providing broadband. We should adopt the WANI architecture to provide interoperable Wi-Fi hotspots. We should also use the VSAT links for backhaul in remote areas wherever required. We should upgrade to latest technologies such as 5G to provide customized services. And finally, we should promote the cloud services, data centers, and video conferencing applications. So this is all I had to say by way of the regulators' kind of job to promote the healthy growth of industry. Some of the works regulator does it himself, but some other works it sends recommendations to the government. And I think a regulator, in this case TRAI, has actually kept pace with the developments and has time to time made recommendations to the government, and government has implemented many of them to ensure that the dream of our Prime Minister for Digital India to develop India into a digitally empowered economy and a knowledge society is realized. Thank you very much.